Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Aklon here, and welcome back to each and one of you. And of course, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. I do apologize for the fact that I am bringing you this video on my mobile. I hate mobile phones, but unfortunately it's all I have. I still don't have internet. It is still a ginormous cock-up. The internet company really doesn't seem to get the weight of the situation, I guess one can say. And so, yeah, here we are. I'm forced to make these videos now on my mobile phone with as little editing as possible, because I'm gonna have to pay for this with data literally for the foreseeable future. And data in South Africa is not exactly cheap. So yeah, definitely not a massive fan of that. Anyways, let's talk. I have a couple of things that I wanted to discuss with you guys, videos that I've wanted to make, videos that I thought would have been made weeks ago at this point, but of course that was not the case. That was not to be. I also seem to have lost my selfie stick, which to this day I have only used, I think, 3 times, but it's gone. I genuinely have gone through every single box. Like, just take a look. We still haven't unpacked, mainly because we're still sort of wondering if we're gonna stay. If the internet doesn't come back or doesn't come soon, I don't see how I can stay here. This is again one of those things where promises were made. This time it's not really the fault of the owner, but we were told that there would be internet at the property, and there's no internet at the property. There is internet. The internet line was installed, but then when they came to connect it, the line was broken. And so, you know, there's that to consider. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about dragons. This is a video that I've been working on in my head for quite some time. I've been thinking about it for quite a while. I've been wondering how am I actually gonna make this video? Like, what is this video going to be about? I guess is the best way to put it. But I guess one of the first things that sort of needs to be said, and I do apologize, I have this sort of makeshift placement for the phone at the moment. I hope it does a good enough job. I don't know, maybe. I guess the thing that really started this theory for me, where this theory really took flight, was when we first saw Ysera within the Shadowlands, right? We saw Ysera there. She doesn't belong there. She's not supposed to be there. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the current knowledge that we have in the most limited way possible of what happens to dragons when they die is that they return to the dream. Remember, dragons, the dragon flights were developed and designed and birthed really with a singular purpose: to defend Azeroth. So when dragons die, they're, at least from what we think and what we know, they're meant to return to the dream. And they're either reborn there or they stay there and they defend the dream from outside attack. So that's sort of what we know should happen when a dragon dies. Now, of course, that's not what happened with Ysera, and we all know this. But what happened to Ysera really was the result of an outside force. It had very little to do with Ysera herself or with the natural order of the universe. It had to do with Elune. Elune is the one who sort of collected Ysera's spirit and took her into the Shadowlands. My question at that point, really, alarm bells started to go off in my mind, because at this point I was thinking to myself, why? Why would Elune do this? Is there something that we're missing in all of this? Perhaps Elune saw what Zovaal was up to. Perhaps Elune had some inkling, not fully understanding, but an inkling of what Zovaal was actually planning. And she knew that in order to save the Shadowlands, they would need a dreamer. Now, remember, I have made multiple videos on this, and there is no Alex in this video. By the way, talking of Alex, if you guys have anything, even if it is just $1, that you can give over on Patreon or subscribe over on Twitch or right here on YouTube, it would go a very long way. I don't mind being punished for the fact that I can't make videos because my country is fucked and, you know, it is what it is. But I would love to not have Alex punished as well. Right now, we're not doing live streams. I have no way of making money outside of these videos, which obviously I don't expect is going to see massive revenue streams because I have no internet, no PC to actually upload this video and make sure that it's right and make sure that it's edited in any sort of real way. So if you have $1 that you can give over on Patreon to help out Alex so that I can pay Alex a salary at the end of the month and that he doesn't get punished for the fact that I can't make videos, it would mean the absolute world to me. I will be back as soon as possible, as soon as my internet gets sorted out. Anyways, there is no Alex. So imagine the cosmological map, right? Imagine you have the light, you have life, you have order, you have the void, you have death, and then of course you have disorder, chaos, right in this corner. And right in the middle, you have the Emerald Dream, you have Azeroth or reality, and then you have the Shadowlands. And I've made multiple videos on this. They do seem to be connected to one another. And in my opinion, I think the dream was created very much as a sort of backup plan. This is one of the videos that I made in the earliest days, right after Sylvanas destroyed the World Tree. You know, when we first learned about the Shadowlands and what has happened within the Shadowlands, I made a video where I said, I think the burning down of the tree didn't have so much to do with killing night elves or even starting a war, but that the tree itself may have been some sort of backup plan, right? So a way for the Shadowlands to gain access to anima when and if it requires it. You know, in case of emergency, press this button, so to speak, and that's why the tree was destroyed. So the fact that Ysera finds herself now within the Shadowlands, a place that, according to our knowledge, she shouldn't be in, as far as I'm concerned, is proof enough that, or at least it very heavily weighs or rings true, that the Emerald Dream has a lot to do with the rebalancing or the fixing of the Shadowlands, and Elune, obviously in some roundabout way, intervened. But this is where my question became, actually, I guess more broadly speaking, it ballooned into something more. And we're going outside now, because why not? I don't know why I didn't open the door fully. Like, why did I squeeze through when I could have just walked through? But anyways, just get out of the sun, because it is fucking hot today, dude. You have no idea. It's scorching. Anyway, this is where my question really became, I think, in magnitudes, more global. At BlizzCon, I believe it was 2019, BlizzCon 2019, when Shadowlands was first announced and we learned that we're going to get this expansion. Ian Azikostas, in one of the Q&As, I think, started talking about Galakrond and how we're going to learn how Galakrond was the first real example of death on Azeroth, of necromancy on Azeroth. Now, necromancy very much is the magic of death. It's the magic of the Shadowlands. It's how the Shadowlands operate. It's how it functions. But of course, necromancy is how mortals interfere with the realms of death, if you will. It's what Sylvanas have done up until now for quite a while. And so I started thinking to myself, wait, if Galakrond is going to feature and Ysera is within the Shadowlands, and we actually had a quest where we had to visit Addicts, what is the purpose of the dragons? And could this be part of a future expansion? Could the next expansion be the Dragon Isles? Remember, we still don't really know what the Dragon Isles is either. There's strong indication that there was some kind of old god corruption within the Dragon Isles or on the Dragon Isles, but what it is, what its purpose is, this is unknown to us. So it could very well be the perfect realm to bring into the Shadowlands, right? or maybe as a future expansion, who knows. But I started to think about the global aspects of this. Why was Galakrond considered to be the first example of necromancy on Azeroth, and how exactly does that fit into the overall story? What does that mean for the overall story? And then, of course, I started asking myself, but why isn't Elune actively interfering? Up until now, a lot of us, myself included, have had theories where maybe Elune is the first one. Remember, we know so little about her, and yet she's been around since the beginning. So clearly there's something huge about her, something that we just don't know yet, something that Blizzard maybe never reveals to us. But the questions remain. The question remains the same all the time. Why doesn't Elune actively interfere in anything? When the Night Elves were burning in Teldrassil, why didn't Elune interfere? Why did Elune allow them to burn? And before people say, well, she put them to sleep, they felt themselves burning even though they were asleep. So Elune definitely didn't help them. She basically spared the living the suffering of hearing the cries of the dead. But they still very much suffered as they burnt to death. So why didn't Elune? I mean, these are her people. The Night Elves are the people of Elune. They live and die for Elune. Why didn't she help them? And that, of course, brought me all the way. And I realize I'm jumping around in this video quite a bit because I don't have the ability to edit it. So I sort of, this is how I make videos. Congratulations. You are once again watching a raw Acheron video. But then I sort of jumped ahead and I thought to myself, wait a second. If Elune is the first one, and Elune isn't actively interfering, and we start putting together all of the separate pieces, Zovaal, considered to be a monster, brother to some, but monster nonetheless. The Primus tells us that he must not reach the sepulchre. If he does, all will be lost. What are they talking about? Why is Zovaal, what did he do? What is it that he did that was so evil? Why is Galakrond mentioned as the first use of necromancy on Azeroth? And could Galakrond be the very first servant of Zovaal? Could Galakrond have been the very first, so to speak, herald of his coming? And of course, Galakrond was fouled eventually, but that led to the dragonflights. So putting all of this together, a pretty clear picture starts to emerge of Zovaal and his place within this universe. The slayer of his parents. But then, of course, a bigger question started to arise. What if the first ones aren't their parents? If you go to Oribos and you listen to the servants that stay there, the people that look after the place, Telonara and their ilk, you get the sense that the first ones built everything, but at no point do you get the sense that the Titans or the Eternal Ones were built by the first ones. More so that the first ones provided the very first structures. They provided the very first pathways. They provided the very first life, according to the progenitors, or not the progenitors, according to Telonara and the Watchers, if you will, in Oribos. The progenitors are the ones who built the soul. They made it. Souls literally come from them. So the question becomes, what if the Titans and the Eternal Ones aren't the children of the first ones, simply different beings with a very different purpose? What if there once was a war between the first ones and the Eternal Ones and the Titans? What if someone like Zovaal slew them for their power? What if the hole in his chest is quite literally his power, the power that he absorbed from all of these first ones? What if that is the thing that's in the sepulchre? Now, what is interesting, and the reason I say this is interesting, when we see the cinematic, and I want you to imagine the cinematic because I can't put it in, but when we see the cinematic of Zovaal confronting the rune carver, he speaks about the secrets that the first ones sought to hide, and we see Frostmourne, the Mournblade, and the Helm of Domination. These are secrets of the first ones. I didn't get the sense then, just remembering and sort of remembering the cinematic, I did not get the sense that he was talking about his creators or his parents. Instead, I got the sense he was talking about almost an enemy. Yeah, I got the sense he was talking about an enemy, someone that sought to limit their power, their reach, their capabilities. I don't know if there could be anything to this. I wanted to make this video. I don't know if it's a good video or not. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below if this is something you'd want to see more of. Also, you know, hit that like button if you want to see a house tour. If you don't want to see a house tour, don't hit the like button, that's fine. But yeah, I will do a house tour at some point. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I realized this was a very all over the place kind of video, but this is a very all over the place kind of time where I don't have the ability to sit down at my desk and make a video, because once the video is on the PC, there's no way for me to get the video off the PC. And before you guys go, but Akalon, you could just tether your phone to it. I really can't. Data prices, if I'm recording at 1080p, 60 frames per second, the data would kill me. And unfortunately, if I lower the resolution on my PC, it just looks like shit. So this really is the best I can do. Also, the studio is a near setup. You'll see when I do the house tour and I show you guys that. But yeah, if these videos is fine with you and you want to see a little bit more of this, just sort of general ramblings, let me know. Because yeah, this is pretty much the best I can do at the moment. Thank you so much to everyone that keeps supporting me, supporting the channel. Thanks to every one of you over on Patreon, the Twitch subs, the YouTube channel members. I love all of you so much. Thank you to everyone on Discord holding out hope, waiting for me to return. I will be back as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. Take care of your family, your loved ones. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, fam.